Alrighty then, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow, the second, alright, to the last stream from the old apartment. Excuse the boxes in the background. And should Steve have more stuff packed by this time? Yes, of course he should have. But he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 7 days off before the 13th, when I have to be out of this place completely. And 3 of those are paid days off, so doing pretty good. I'm not really worried about it, but yeah, should have, I started late when I left Arkansas too. So sometimes we never ever learn, ever, like ever. Alrighty. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money, and for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, and you'll see the Ramsey Show Aftershow playlist. And today is show number 594. Answering your financial questions. That is the 8 p.m. stream that I do on days I can't do the after show, or if I actually schedule that in the weekend. Sometimes I'll do a Saturday and or Sunday type of deal. And that will be at 8 p.m. Occasionally, I'll kick it to 4 p.m. if, say, for example, the Ohio State Buckeyes, or the Washington Commanders are playing a night game. I might kick it to 4 p.m. So just stay tuned. I'll try to let you know as soon as possible. That's part of what the information in the ticker below. What do we have first? Is it market report? Everything was down earlier. This just changed. Probably because I'm streaming. I have that effect on the market. But now just barely up, which again is better than any down. Even zeros across the board would be better than being negative, right? But you got your Dow and NASDAQ into positive territory. And actually, the S&P 500 and Russell 2000 small cap index fund are barely down as well. So 0.023% and 0.067%. So everything could be up by the end of the day or very shortly. Who knows? We'll check it one more time before we bounce. Progressive Corporation, that would be your insurance, and they report on the 15th, and that's 2 days after I have to be out of this apartment. Most followed single stocks on the Google. What's down? Google is down. Alphabet Incorporated owns Google and the YouTube. In case you didn't know that, you probably knew that. Sid knew that for sure. Microsoft down 0.81. Meta down 2.66. And Tesla balancing that out, being up 2.59. Let's see if there's any fun headlines. Oh, stocks dip lower as government officially shuts down. And then I guess and now it's going back down again. The NASDAQ is back negative again, but again, just barely. So, everybody tries to attribute it to something, but just the constant trading. That's just not what we do in Ramsey land. We are investing for 30 plus years. Best case scenario, you start around age 20 or so, and you have 40 years of investing in the market, and so you're not worried about the day-to-day things. I talk about the day-to-day things though because it's good content, and just so you see what's going on, but you shouldn't be like overly concerned. And we're not doing this day trading thing where you trade and buy and sell every day like these Wall Street people are. We don't do that. We buy on schedule, whether it's up or down. And Walmart eliminating synthetic dyes from private label food brands. All right, that seems fine. Approved. Norovirus outbreak for Royal Caribbean. That's not fun to get sick any kind of way on a cruise. Berkshire's potential deal for Occidental Chemical business would be a win for Buffett. Of course, it would. Any acquisitions, and theoretically, he wouldn't do any acquisitions that aren't a great deal for him. Electric vehicles, big SUVs drive forward. Q3 U.S. sales up 8.2%. Well, it's good. American company. Godfather AI remains concerned as ever about human extinction. Well, got a great idea. Don't invent AI then. Why did you do that? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's going to happen. Computer stuff, and, they make a movie called The Terminator, that kind of thing. And so eventually, of course, yes, it's going to happen in real life. NBC and YouTube TV reach short-term agreement. Oh, right. That's I don't have the YouTube TV because you cut the cord, did not have the high cable bill, but then YouTube TV costs just as much as cable used to cost. So that's not helping at all. So just do without it. Maxwell's Coffee changing its name for the first time in 133 years, and there's a bizarre reason why. All right. Not clicking on it. You can get that information at the New York Post if you care. Publishers Clearinghouse new plan. Future winners will be protected. Past winners still won't get paid. Yeah, I read something about this the other day. A person that is supposed to get $5,000 a week won it quite a while ago, and supposed to get $5,000 a week for life. And of course, Publishers Clearinghouse filed bankruptcy recently. But apparently, if they have a new plan, that means they're going to keep doing business. So they just reorganized the debt. And so I don't know if suing them would do any good. Don't know. You can talk to a lawyer. See if a lawyer wants to become famous and rich. And give it a shot. Try to sue them, but like once it goes through the courts, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess you can, because you can appeal anything, but so, maybe you can, and they'd have to change that if they won. Or I don't know if, once the bankruptcy, the reorganization has been structured by the court, and the court's done with it, I don't know that can be challenged either. But you can try soon. Hopefully you have put some of that $5,000 per week into retirement savings, and you've saved some of it instead of blowing it every week and spending $5,000 every week, since you'll get another $5,000 the next week, but now you won't. That doesn't seem quite fair to me, but I don't get to make the rules for everything. NVIDIA up 0.32%. Nothing else exciting. Yeah. Final check on the market for today, and anything could happen. Mostly all down now, except for the Dow, which is a little bit up, but it's like hanging right around there about break-even point, and so it could go either way. Now it's time for everybody's favorite new segment, the budget question of the day. How do you do finances as a couple? Again, this is the budget subreddit. I feel like for me, most of the questions that I've read so far on there, most of the people doing that do say a lot of Ramsey catchphrases and stuff, or have a lot of like Ramsey advice kind of stuff in there. So I think a lot of them are Ramsey, at least Ramsey-ish people, but you don't necessarily have to be. This is just, the subreddit is reddit.com/r/budget, and so it's just all about budgets. And once we get done with this, then I'll go to do some questions from the Facebook group, the Ramsey Baby Steps community, which is actually run by Ramsey Solutions. That's the only forum like that they run. So if you see anything else, including the Dave Ramsey subreddit, it's run by fans, not by Ramsey Solutions. CD Silvermoon, how do you do finances as a couple? Well, again, I'm going to be answering it Ramsey style, but we just keep in mind that they may not even be trying to follow any of Dave's advice. In theory, all of them would be trying to do a budget that makes sense, though. Which, of course, that's in Baby Step 0. So that is part of the Ramsey advice. Anyway, so getting married in September, so we don't do finances together yet. Closing on a house this month. You're doing it wrong. What is it? Oh, this was 3 months ago. Oh, yeah, that's right. I scrolled to the bottom so I don't waste any questions. You know how I like to do. Okay, this was 3 months ago. Okay, so getting married in September, which was last month now. Happy 1st of October, everybody. Okay. Looking for advice on how to manage. So they're married by now, hopefully. Unless something happened to make that not happen. Looking for advice on how to manage our combined finances together. You would not do that yet. And so you would not want to buy a house with somebody that is not your spouse. You would not want to do that. That leads to problems. Even if the person is your spouse, you could still have problems by getting divorced, something like that. And then there could be problems with that as well. So, but at least be married, because that gives you some skin in the game there. That makes you just a little bit better than being the roommates that you are now. So don't do that, but you already bought it apparently. My partner, you're getting married. Why can't we say fiance? Why not? Fiance is still applicable even in the year of our Lord 2025. You don't have to say partner. It's your fiance, right? That's just the facts, ma'am. My partner gives me money every month to cover his portion of the rent and groceries, and it's worked great for apartment living, but we'd like to be more intertwined. Well, you wait for the marriage to happen first, but then you do. Everything becomes ours. All the debt, all the money, all the investments is all ours. Of course, you would still have like 401ks, other retirement accounts in only one person's name, but theoretically the other person would be the beneficiary, if that's not already changed even. How do you do it in your household? Should we combine bank accounts? Yes, after marriage. Split things based on income? No. Everything is ours. Doesn't matter. It's not a, now, come on kids. Not a race. One partner pays one bill, the other something else. No. Have one combined account, but still keeping our privates. There's too many options. How did you uncomplicate it for it to work for you? You have one bank account. That's all you need. Now, if you need a separate savings account, if you need, even like one more account to keep things straight as far as sticking to the budget, you can do that. But once you get married, everything is supposed to be ours, and both of our names should be on the deed to the house or the lease agreement. Both of our names should be on it. And both of our names would be on the one checking account. And it's all in there. Either spouse can look at the account anytime they want to online. And of course, how that works also is that either spouse can also go to the bank and withdraw every cent out of that account by themselves. And so that's how it works. So, but this, you should be confident that that won't be a problem with somebody you're getting married to. So if you think that's going to be a problem, maybe you don't get married. So, but that's how you do that. Everything becomes ours. And of course, that is the Ramsey advice for it. Let's do one more budget question. Lay Pink 1997. How do you manage your monthly budget on a modest income? Well, I would think it would be easier because there's a low number. You run out of money faster, so you can't buy things. You can't spend a lot of money, right? So why wouldn't that be easier? Let's read and see what it says. Hi everyone, hi guys. I'm trying to get better at managing my money, and I'd love to hear how others do it, especially if you're working with a tight budget. For context, I'm based in the Philippines, monthly income $25,000, no kids, but supporting parents a bit. Okay, other cultures do be supporting their parents. And it just is not like that in America. I mean, some people do help out their parents for sure. Some Americans do. But as a whole, we don't feel like anything for parents, especially if they're being stupid with their spending. Especially if they wasted all of their money by doing something all this time instead of saving like we're trying to do now, following the Ramsey advice. And this person, of course, may just be trying to get a budget together. Anyway, rent $6,000. That is 25%. That might be gross though, so it might be a little bit high. Utilities and Wi-Fi, $2,000. I can't relate to the different monies really. Wonder what the exchange rate is. Anyway, shouldn't really need that, but we'll be able to see how much it goes to the 25,000. Probably almost all of it. Let's see, 6,000 and 2,000 is 8,000. That seems like a lot for. Oh, yes, utilities and Wi-Fi. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably all right. It's 8,000, and groceries are 7,000. That's 15,000. Transport 16,500. The rest it just disappears somehow. Okay, we found your problem. you can try to get the grocery amount down a bit, but probably the other things are probably okay. But we found the problem. The rest just disappears somehow. No, it doesn't. It goes to an actual place. And so what you do, hopefully that's being spent on a debit card. And so if so, you can log into the bank account and you can see exactly where that is spent at that does not equal the rent or utilities and Wi-Fi or food, groceries. What does that say? Oh, food plus groceries. Why aren't groceries, doesn't that covered? Is that eat out and groceries? You could eat out less if money's an issue. Do you follow a specific budgeting method like 50, 30, 20? It depends on what baby step you're on as far as the Ramsey advice. Like if you have any debt, you would not be doing much spending at all. Much extra spending. Let's see. Any tips for building savings or cutting down costs without sacrificing too much comfort? That's the real trick, isn't it? So, no, because you haven't said what you're spending it on that gives you comfort. So I would need to know where it's going. And you would want to cut out as much of that as you can. Again, the just disappearing somehow. It seems like you've covered everything. Trying to look at something it might not cover. Clothing. Fun money. Just spending willy-nilly. So you got to look in the bank account and see where it's going. If it's cash that's going somewhere, you're going to have to save all of your receipts and go from there. So like, for example, and starting from now on, if you are using cash for stuff, if you're doing any of those, anything that's not any of those categories, the rent, utilities, and Wi-Fi, food, groceries, and transport, and transpo, fun. If it's not that, you save all of those receipts, and at the time you say, oh, this is where some of that money is going. That never occurred to you before. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they never tried to make a budget before. Who knows? So but yeah, if you find yourself getting ready to spend money and it's not one of those categories, then you have to think to yourself and not just like let it go and not be worried about it and just ignore it and spend the money anyway. You can say, oh, here's one place the money goes, and this is probably somewhere stupid to spend the money on when you want to be saving money. So because that's what we're trying to do, right? Savings, cutting down cost. Yeah, that means don't do the other stuff. If you don't even know where it went to, that means it probably wasn't necessary. Alrighty. So that was a bonus. Budget question of the day. Alrighty. What's one non-negotiable expense you refuse to cut from your budget? I just did it. Just got another apartment closer to the job, but that one also has an in-unit washer and dryer. I do splurge on that, and that I find only adds like maybe $30 or $40 to the rent cost per month. And to me, that's worth it to not have to go to a laundry room, even if there's a free one on the premises. Because I don't want my clothes intermingling with people I don't know's clothes. So that's one. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I get pop instead of just having, as we call it here in the Midwest, soft drinks, carbonated soft drinks. instead of just drinking water, which I could do, but I choose not to. But those two things are probably about the same, or are about the only things. Every so often, my son and I take turns spending, going out to dinner, like a Mexican restaurant, that kind of thing. Occasionally raising canes, but that kind of stuff. And so, but all that stuff is budgeted for, though, for sure. Trying to think of anything else. Not thinking of anything else. My husband has a pension through his work that he can collect on when he turns 55, 52 now. How do you figure that into the 15% of household income for retirement savings? Sleepy. That he can collect on when he turns 55. Oh, how would you figure that into the 15%? Since it's a pension, pension doesn't pay out as much as the market does. So it only counts as half. So if he's not investing anything, then it doesn't figure in at all, and you have to do 15% of your gross household income. So, but if he is contributing, say he's contributing 15% into the pension, that only counts as 7.5%, and you have to do another 7.5% to get up to the 15%. And again, it's because pensions suck compared to the market. But some places insist you do a pension, especially government, teachers, that kind of thing. I just started the baby steps this year after I stupidly got myself into $50,000 credit card debt. How did that happen? Well, you at least said it was stupidly and not, I don't know how it happened. So this person knows how it happened. On a positive note, I'm on baby step 2 and I paid off 2 cards, and the third will be paid off this month. Excellent. Anyway, my 12th grade daughter's financial literacy teacher at school told her that she should get a credit card when she turns 18 to start building credit. And I'm like, no. Well, obviously, the financial literacy curriculum is not the Ramsey curriculum, or this teacher is teaching against the Ramsey curriculum that she's supposed to be teaching from. Okay, but that is a no. I think she will listen to me, but I kind of want to show her exactly why that's a horrible idea by showing her my sheet with all my debts, balances, interest, and also she will be scared off from doing it. Has anyone else revealed their finances to their almost 18-year-old to get them to see the real deal of credit card debt? Yeah, she should be able to understand math at 17. So I don't see a problem with that. It's not like, especially if the finances are not. Wait, with all my debts? Oh, because you're on baby step 2. Okay, yeah, see, the problem is that you're still paying off the debt, so you still have debt. But you can explain that having the debt was a mistake, and so now we're working to pay it off. So you can explain all that. And the thing that my son enjoyed was the investment calculator. And show her the investment calculator. So if she doesn't have any debt, and about at 25 or so, she starts investing, you can show her how much it'll be when she retires, which will be a crap load. Millions of dollars. But how you do that, how you get there, is by not having to make debt payments. Let's see, I almost wanted to call the school, but I don't want to make too big a deal about it and embarrass her. Yeah, I get that. I would also check to see what the curriculum is, or even if there is one, or if the teacher's winging it. Which, you never know. You never know. Depends on the school, I guess. My husband has underpaid on taxes ever since we got married in 2021. I recently learned that we owe $54,000 to the IRS because he had not been paying taxes. Majority of this is because of his 1099 income. I was a W-2 employee until last year. I knew there was an issue as my wages were garnished in 2022. Why didn't we fix the problem in 2022 then? He told me he would pay it off. He would pay off what was owed, but that clearly did not happen, and you didn't follow up. So you see, if somebody does not pay the IRS on time, they're out of chances at that point. And so when you talk to him and he said, I will pay off what was owed, you might give it a couple weeks and then you can say, what's going on with that debt payoff? You make it be an issue. And I need to take steps to protect myself. All right. I'm looking at filing either Form 8379 or 8857, but don't fully understand the difference or which would be applicable in my situation. Can anyone who has gone through this provide insight? Thank you. No, I don't know if that's some kind of like spousal protection thing or not. I don't know. Because a lawyer, a tax professional of some type might also be able to help you with that. But yeah, I don't know, but maybe that's some kind of spousal protection thing there, so it doesn't get applied. It's like where you can just say, hey man, I didn't know anything about this. He said he was going to pay it, and that is that money that he owes, you don't owe that. So maybe there is a way to get yourself out of being held liable for that. As far as the rest of the relationship, that's going to be like regular counseling, if you even care to stay with him. Hey, my wife and I are almost finished with baby step 2 and are trying to get the number we need for baby step 3. Is it just food, clothing, utilities, transportation, or would health insurance, yes, disability insurance be included in that? Yes. What else would be included on top of the 4 walls? That's about it. It would be all of your expenses like they are now, but you don't have... Oh, this might be the end of the question. Okay. But you would not be investing in time of emergency, so you don't include your investing amount in that. Any other optional things like the fund money can be taken out of that as well. You don't need to include that. Just anything that's not necessary. Excuse me. 4 walls, definitely. Insurances. Like I say, utilities. So, but definitely any optional stuff. Subscriptions don't need to be included in that. Don't need no movie channels or nothing like that. Movie channels. I sound 8,000 years old. All right. We have a home with maybe $150K in equity and maybe $55,000 in consumer debt. Option 1, sell the house, pay the debt and the 36-month emergency fund. Put the rest as down payment toward new home. You can do that. Option 2, refi the house, taking enough out in equity to pay the debt. And you don't do a cash out on it. The only time you tap the equity is when you sell it. And the only reason for selling it would be to be moving down, not moving up. Because we're not trying to take a larger mortgage. Am I wrong in thinking Dave supports option 1 but not option 2? I can't find a difference. There's a difference. And option two, you are just refining the house, taking enough out. That's a home equity line of credit. That's debt. So you're taking out more debt, even though it's on your equity. You're still taking out more to pay debt. And so that is why that's wrong. And you can't find a difference because you don't want to find a difference with it. But this, again, would not be, you're not going to get around the advice. You're not going to be able to justify like going towards a new house or, the same cost of house overall. You using the equity on it to get out of debt, that doesn't teach you anything if you do that quick way out, and end up having more mortgage. You're just transferring it to the mortgage both ways. You're transferring the debt to the mortgage both ways if you do that. The only reason that you would sell the house to do that and put to pay off the debt, and it can be your emergency fund as well, and put your rest as a down payment toward your new home, that would be a cheaper mortgage than you have available now. So it would have to be moving down in house, which further makes your finances better. So that would be the difference, and you just don't want to find a difference. Because you want to do dumb crap that's not with the Ramsey advice, and for some reason didn't just go ahead and do it. Think you have to, run it by Dave to see, or try to get somebody in the comments to agree with you. That's dumb. If you think you're right, go ahead and just do it. Why not? Why do you have to get somebody? Obviously, it's the wrong thing to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be posting, right? I've been following the baby steps for a while now, and it's been such a journey full of ups and downs. There are moments when I feel like, for me, I'm making huge progress, and others when it feels like taking forever, but I know every step counts. Indeed. Curious, what's one habit or mindset shift that's helped you stay consistent on this path? One habit, I guess, being intentional with money. But the mindset shift, the overall thing of this plan, this set of advice is exactly the thing to do if you want to improve your finances fastest. And with minimal risk. This is the way you do it. And so it doesn't change whether there's up and downs. It's still the same thing to do. It's still the right thing to do regardless, even if there are ups and downs in life. And that will happen. That's not Dave's fault. You have to take care of your own ups and downs. And so, and then that might be a time where you pause the baby steps for an emergency. That kind of thing. But then when your emergency's over, then you resume the baby steps right where you left off. You don't lose where you were. You only lose the progress that would have happened if there was no emergency. So, but yeah, the mindset shift of it being the right thing to do remains the right thing to do. And so that's why I stay consistent on the path. This is the way. We are officially debt-free. 5 years ago, we bought our home with a 25-year mortgage. Boop, boop, boo-doo. Should have only been 15. Maybe they weren't following Ramsey at the time. Instead of letting it stretch out, we threw every extra dollar at it. Lump sums, savings, sacrifices. Yeah, this week we made the final payment mortgage-free in 5 years. Excellent. Debt-free feels incredible. I bet. Freedom! And that's fabulous. See, kids, They didn't do any dumb crap like refinance or tap their equity or anything like that. They just let it ride as a 25-year mortgage and paid it off in 5. And that is completely acceptable to do by Mr. Ramsey. 9 hours of overtime between yesterday and today. I'll get another 6 hours on Sunday, and as added incentive, $40 gift card to Amazon and $60 in bonus pay. Sleep schedule all blown to crap again. Basically, $560 added to my shovel this month, and I'll be able to treat myself to some new guitar strings. Also found out I'm getting a $1 raise in October. Isn't much, but it'll add up indeed. And a different post, just closed another 3 credit cards. That is now 7 in the last month. Excellent. Just replenished my emergency fund, and I'm ready to start snowballing again. However, going to be cut down to 2 days of work over the winter months. In the meantime, I can do some delivery as a side hustle until the snow flies. Why can't you do it when the snow flies? Your vehicle doesn't work in the snow. This will bring in extra cash to maybe get ahead of the reduced income over the next few months. I can't decide if I should get back to snowballing or if I should use my extra funds to pay my rent through the low income months and then do what I can on my snowball. 2 days of work over the winter months. Find a better job where you're not down to 2 days a month over the winter months. Find a full-time job. Would be my advice. That way you can continue snowballing. How about that? Let's do that instead. We're in baby step number 3. That would be full emergency fund. I feel like, for me, as though this step has been very difficult to get past for us. And why would that be? Since baby step number 3, we have needed a furnace, washer and dryer, refrigerator. None of those could be repaired. None of those could be repaired. Had to have all brand new ones. Did you even get a second opinion on any of them? Dishwasher for my sanity, very important. Justification station, false. You can hand wash dishes. Many repairs on our vehicles. Okay, those were repairs. These other things couldn't be repaired. You had to get a new one. And a new roof, too. Did you get a second opinion on that? People are nutty with not getting second opinions. So I don't know if these were actually needed or not. You have needed written on there, but guess what? Needed is one of the words that people way overuse. It might not be a need. You might have just wanted a new furnace and a new washer and dryer instead of getting your older one fixed. But probably the average person would just take the word of the first person that came to look at it and say, oh, well, definitely need a new one. You might not have. We've been able to pay cash for all these items. Great. With the help of Dave's baby steps, right? We're now broke after the new roof project. 7. I don't know what 7 is there. I might have copied and pasted it wrong there. And I don't show you the actual page because it shows their actual Facebook name, which is oftentimes their actual name. So that's great. Dave baby steps, and you were able to cash flow this stuff. Maybe kicking into the emergency fund somewhat. But yeah, if it's an emergency, that's what it's there for. But again, that's a lot of stuff to all break all at the same time. And if it gets now that you've gotten many repairs on your vehicles, theoretically, there shouldn't be any other problem with it for a while. right? So, okay, broke after the new roof project. Well, yeah, I mean, why the project? I mean, and did you ask, could it be delayed? I mean, I'm sure they want you to have a new roof before the winter time. I'm sure they do, because they don't want to be fixing it in the winter. And they also want to make money there too, though. So unfortunately, you can't always trust service people like that, because they like to sell you new one of all of these instead of fixing your old one because that might take 10 seconds to fix your old washer dryer, for example. If you have two car payments, one is approximately $8,700. I don't care about the interest rate, doesn't matter. And other is $12,200. Which would you try to pay off and add extra, if possible, to payment first, and why? Smallest to largest, so that would be this one. And you don't try to pay it off, you do it. You pay it off. Do or do not, there is no try. Smallest to largest, always. Also, if you have two car payments, you probably don't need two cars. What you can do is sell one of them. So, if this is you and your spouse, or you and somebody else, it's not your car payment then. It better not be. Unless you are married to the person who is driving the other car. That would be the only exception for that, probably. But smallest to largest is how that works. And you're not the exception, because it's cars doesn't change the advice. The interest rate doesn't change the advice. Nothing does. And like I said, maybe you shouldn't even be paying for it at all. Maybe you should sell the more expensive one. How about that? Like, for example, if one of them is a vehicle that you need so you can go camping twice a year, you sell it and you rent a vehicle those 2 times a year instead of having it for no other reason. 19 years old, and I have only one debt, my truck loan. It's a law in Texas. Gotta have them. I owe about $8,400, but I just got out of a full-time job, and I should be able to knock that loan out in 5 months. Okay, great. My question is it okay for me to keep what I have in my savings account as an emergency fund? No, you keep $1,000. Especially if you're still living with mommy and daddy, because then they're footing the bill for a lot of stuff. Probably. Also, is it wrong to still be putting a little bit into my investment accounts while paying off my loan? Yes. Did you not read the baby steps at all? Did you not read the baby steps at all? Let's take a look. Save $1,000 for start emergency fund, says step 1. It doesn't say have extra. Doesn't say that anywhere here. Doesn't say save 1 extra cent anywhere here. Stop it. Stop your dumb crap. Step 2 is pay off debt. And that means you don't do step 3 first, because you still have that truck loan. So you should have $1,000. Everything you have over $1,000 should be going to the debt. And so you shouldn't be having a full emergency fund yet, or even working on it. And then since you're not on step 3, you're definitely not on step 4 investing. So there's no investing either. No. Stop trying to do. People are so nutty. They love to try to do everything all at the same time. And that's a no, no, and a no. Baby steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time without moving to the next step early. Stop being dumb. I know you're 19 years old, and I was probably dumber than you are when I was 19. But stop it. I mean, you have there was no Reddit back then when I was 19, I don't think. I don't know when that started. Yeah, pretty sure it wasn't. That would have been the year of our Lord, 1987. So I don't know if there was a Reddit back then. So, but that's a no. Stop having ideas. It's spelled out for you right here. This is what to do. You don't need to have ideas. It's been worked out for you already. I finally got this credit card below $10,000. I just paid another $500 today. I used this card on lawyer fees for my divorce. Has been hanging on, living around like a pet or piece of furniture. Yep. That's what happens. And you're trying to get it to not, you're trying to evict that pet or piece of furniture. So good job. I need advice on how to get someone to start the baby steps. It doesn't work like that. The best thing you can do is be a good example. You can share your success with them. But also, you can't control everything. There was a call on the Ramsey show today where a lady in the state up north was trying to run situation with in-laws in Canada. Her brother is a pastor. And the pastor is getting government assistance. And she doesn't like that. So, but, I mean, she's not trying to help or anything. She just wanted to see if it was wrong, if it was Christian, basically, is what our question was for Dave about that. But then also, this was her brother, not her in-law. This was her brother. And then her parents she said, are constantly getting asked to pay for stuff by the brother. And I guess because they might be better off than he is, but anyway, or they may have a lot of money, who knows. Either way, he's not entitled to getting help from them. And so, but really, she can't control that either. So they're the ones that need to set the boundary on that. And so people are just nutty, is what they are, trying to control everything. So you can't get someone to start them, probably, especially if they don't want to, if they're not concerned about their finances. You can talk to them about it. You can, but the main thing is that you be doing it correctly so that you're a good example. And so you can say, yeah, I used to be that same way, but I'm so glad I got out of debt, and break it down for them. Need advice. I bought books for them, had them listen to the podcast in the car with me, and continuously talk about the amazing program we have here. And every time I can't think about that. It's too stressful. Okay, you need to bounce out then. I mean, you can get one last zinger in there, like, oh, I'd be stressed if I wasn't thinking about it. If I was just letting it lie, that would stress me out. Okay, let me know if you need any help with anything. And that's not monetary help either. That's you're just giving. But anyway, make them ask for help, and then you say, oh, I didn't mean money if they ask for money. This is someone who has worked so hard in life, and I just want them to live the way they deserve. They have to want to do it. Once all the debt is paid off. Any advice? Yeah, you just be a good example at this point. At this point, concentrate on you and be the good example. Keep having success stories, and you can share them if you'd like. Again, you've overdone it already, buying books for them, had them listen to the podcast, and they're not buying. And you constantly talk about it, they're not buying about it. Like I said, you can hit the one last retort to, I can't think about it, it's too stressful. You can say, for me, it would be stressful not thinking about it. Having debt is stressful to me. So anyway, let me know if you need help, and then you don't say crap about it anymore, and you let her come to you. So again, you can't get, hey, who you talking to here? Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach, dude. Of course. That would be noon. That would be you probably can't hear it, the tornado siren test. Where was I? I can't remember. I was saying something about you. They, you have to be the good example to them. And you just wait until they ask you for any advice. My advice is to not do anything else until, like I said, one last zinger. One last zinger. Try to get her to say it's too stressful one more time. And then you say, well, I would think it would be too stressful to have debt. I mean, I used to be just like you, and I put my head in the sand, and that didn't make it any better. It never got better until I addressed it. And then at that point, then you shut up until she does ask you for help. Or he. All right, we'll end it there. Let's erase those so I don't do those again. Alrighty, once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. Siren's still going. Testing is still working. Now, what would suck would be a tornado that touches down right at test time. That'd be very confusing. Once again, Ramsey Solutions, Certified Financial Coach, Steve Money. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, yeah, I'm doing that. Is it annoying? Turn the ticker off and on. If you want to make sure you're on the right track or you have money problems, you can schedule a free consultation assessment with me by emailing me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also, for any questions about anything financial or anything on my YouTube channel, donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, CashApp at $sign Coach Steve Money. It wasn't taken. Or Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams. This is subject to change. As always, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. We've done today's Wednesday, October 1st. Tomorrow will be another one. Thursday, October 2nd, and almost certainly be the last stream from this apartment. And the next one will be in the other one, the new one. Answering your financial question streams, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and that plan is for Friday, October 3rd. Internet's supposed to be working there by then. Here at Spectrum, make it happen. You said it would. Plus Saturday and or Sunday, October 4th and 5th. And again, that would be 8 p.m. stream. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.